of Going for Two. Today we are down here at Next Golf, which amazing facility. I was blown away as soon as I walked in. We want to thank Jake for having us out here. And Jake, how you feeling right now?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw you take a couple shots before we came on here, and you're making us feel bad. So, but you are a pro, so we do understand that.
I'd have more concerns if we were beating Jake at golf.
Yeah.
And if we were hitting the ball better than he was.
True.
I would say I might be in the wrong career path if that was what was happening.
Yes.
We might find an opening for you.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it did feel good when he's like, "Oh, nice ball." When I hit it, it's like, I don't know if anyone's ever said that to me before.
We were hitting some great shots.
So,
I can tell you I've said it to you, never.
yeah.
We've played golf a few times.
Usually we've had a few beers, and that maybe that's why it is. I don't know.
There's not a lot of people who would attack a 156-yard hole with pitching wedge, so kudos to you for
You
doing
did not hit
Right.
green. I'm gonna put it out there.
And I went full tin cup without any water though, right? Like I was going for it, and I kept until my shoulders started hurt. So I digress. Back to the show. Like I said, we're down here at Next Golf. Beautiful facility. Number one question I had coming in is, how does somebody at a young age get into golf? I know how I got into golf. How did you get into golf? And then how did you ultimately become a pro
Sure.
to start teaching people?
Sure. I was introduced to golf pretty young, around 12 years old. My parents put me in a summer camp,
Okay.
just a kid summer camp at Thames Valley Golf Course here in London. Dave Schweier was the head professional there, who's now at Green Hills.
Okay.
I worked under him last year. He's an amazing individual. And I just learned like basic fundamentals and things like that. They told me about the rules of the game, and just got my hands on a golf club and got hitting it. Didn't really like spark the passion for golf or anything, but that was
Right.
my first introduction to it.
Okay.
And then basically played maybe once a year through my 20s, and had my child quit the band that I was playing for.
Okay.
And I found that because I had played competitive sports my whole life, quitting the band, I was seeking something creative still.
Right.
Golf kind of amalgamated the competitive and the creative side for me.
Right.
And that's when I just kind of dove into it full keel. As far as getting your coaching certifications and things like that, the PGA of Canada offers a wide variety of certifications you can get through them, whether it's coaching or professional golfing and things like that. The Class B card is probably the place to start. And to do that, you need to do the PAT, it's called, which is the Player's Ability Test.
Okay.
It's one round, and you just need to shoot, I think, an 81 is the score at.
And that's not 9 holes.
18 holes.
So I do not qualify.
You might, you never know.
So you're telling me if I have like the greatest golf game of my life,
You said you broke 80 at Pine Knot, right?
just
I mean,
yeah, I've done it twice.
You could be a pro.
If that was the day,
You're one step away.
I think there might have been a mulligan there though. Just one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it might have changed the way the day could have went.
Yeah, but it's not as hard as it's made out to be by a lot of people in your own head.
Okay.
But getting your Class A designation is a little bit more difficult. You need to go through schooling and things like that too. So
Okay.
yeah,
And
that's the route.
to be a pro, do you have to play on like a tour to get that?
No, not at all. So it's basically just a designation, like you would
Okay.
join like a business membership or something like that.
Right.
You're a certified professional, which means you've got the education and the qualifications to be able to teach what you're teaching.
Okay.
Ultimately, I think the number one thing with any coach is to just, teach what you know and know it well, and nothing else, right? Because if you're giving people information that's misinformation,
Right.
or you're not personable, and people won't receive the information from you to begin with.
Right. Exactly. And like just rewinding a little bit, like how you got back into the sport. You left your band, and you mentioned that you had a kid, which obviously that means timing really matters. Which sport you're going to get into next.
Sure.
And beyond like getting punched in the face in boxing or MMA and golf, I'm not sure what else you can do at 5 or 6 a.m.
That's a good point.
There's only two options.
Yeah, especially with the Next Golf, being open 24/7, 365.
Okay.
You can come anytime you want, right? So I mean, the baby goes to bed and you have an hour of free time. And you
Yeah.
just boogie over here. And ball.
So you guys are all, I didn't realize that's
Yeah, 24/7, 365.
It's like 2 a.m. Christmas
You
after
got it.
Santa comes,
You got it.
and you're like, I need to stay awake because my kids are going to
Maybe
be up
there's
soon.
gifts for me at Next Golf.
Yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
can just go
I
play a
should
quick
check.
round and come back.
100%.
Well, you might get some new clubs for Christmas. You want to go out there and kick them around.
If Santa drops off new clubs for me here at 3 a.m., he's a good guy.
I'll check for you.
Yeah.
I'll make
I mean,
sure.
hopefully it brings me to your house, but
Yeah.
it's okay if they're here too.
Why does that tag say Jake and Chad across there?
Yeah. Right. Right. And yeah, that's really interesting that it's 21st. So is there always somebody here, or do you how do you get in?
So it's treated kind of like a private gym.
Okay.
Like working out for golf, basically. So we don't have staff on site unless I'm here coaching. I do manage the facility and take care of the place. When there's holes in the screens, we replace the screens, things like that. So the general maintenance needs to be done. We're taking care of that on a daily basis, cleaning and things like that.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's self-serve. You come in, when you make your booking, you get an email with a door open code. So you just open your phone, press a button, the door opens up for you. You walk in with your clubs, drop them down in the bay, simulator turns on for you, and you start going. So it's very seamless, autonomous. Like you don't really need to do much. So.
very humble about that too. Like that's a pretty big deal. I think.
Yeah.
Like I thought like 2 years ago when we put like the pin pad on my like door at home, I thought that was like next level. Like
It's changed a
it
lot.
knows your code and then it starts your simulator.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's all based off the scheduling system, which is really cool. So as soon as the booking's made, the system communicates with itself and turns all the devices on and things. So,
And how many courses do you get the option to play for? So like, shit, I want to go play around. Like, can we play at Augusta? Is that allowed? It's the only time I'll ever get there.
for sure, I would love to do that myself too. Augusta isn't one that's offered currently on TrackMan. I know it's sometimes they add it on there for when the Masters is on. Sometimes you can download it for an additional fee, and I think the Masters just wants to make as much money off of the Masters as they can.
This sucker would pay.
Same, right? TrackMan is amazing. It has over 200 playable courses at all times.
Okay.
They do update it and refresh it. And last week with the Open Championship at Royal Troon, they updated and put that one on there. So, this one behind us is the 18th in front of the club. So, you can get on there and play all the courses that the pros are playing too. So it is refreshed. There's over 200. It's hard to go through them.
Have you got to play Sawgrass yet?
Haven't got to play Sawgrass. I haven't seen that one on there either. And I think
Would you send the 17th hole like the whole time?
I think I would, yeah. I'd probably just hit that shot over and over and over and over again until I hold it out and just to say I did it, right?
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I always every time that course comes up, every meme online's like, how many balls would it take to get here? And I don't think there's enough.
Right.
Like for me, anyways.
I could completely I could just be so nervous in front of that team that I could just totally chili dip a 8-iron into the ground or something.
I always just think even if you stuck it on the green, you have to throw it in the water to pay homage to everybody else who's lost.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah.
Smart. It's like pouring one out.
Yeah, it's for the homies.
Now you do coaching and training here.
Yeah.
So what does some of the success stories look like? Like what kind of people are coming to see you, and then what level? I guess they don't really ever leave you if you're continuing to make them better in front of their friends.
Sure. Golf is a continuous game of progression.
Right.
It's one of those things where you're in a constant state of learning unless you're making $8 million on tour.
Right.
It takes a long time to reduce a handicap. To go down, once you're in single digits, to go down even another single digit is a lot of work, right? So
mine right now is putting. That's my handicap. I can't even get a number because I can't putt.
Yeah. Bringing people back is it's not hard to do, but it's something that is just understood about it when you have lessons because it's a game of repetitive motion, and to repeat motion you need to do it over and over and over again. So to burn in those consistencies in your body movement and muscle memory, coaching, a big part of that is just doing it over and over and over again and having the same information given to you time and time again, so you're not falling back on old habits and things like that, right?
Now, are you you're a fairly soft-spoken guy? Are you a soft-spoken guy when you're coaching?
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a laid-back person.
That's what I mean,
I
very
don't get stressed
very
out.
calm.
And I find that's a very key thing to golf and to learning anything in life. I mean, the more stressed out you are, the more you're not able to absorb information. Relaxing makes you think and focus differently. When your body's under stress, your muscles operate differently. In coaching, the game is supposed to be fun, and it's like one of the hardest games in the world to learn and get better at.
Right.
So being calm and having a calm demeanor, especially when you're coaching people, is very important to keep their stress level down and to remind them the game's supposed to be fun, right? And like ultimately we're here to have a good time, not to stress ourselves out.
It's a game of failure, right?
But I appreciate your compliment.
Yeah.
You said you have the TrackMan.
Yeah.
What separates the TrackMan from other simulators?
Yeah, absolutely. So like TrackMan is industry standard is the best way I can put it. Any of the big players, whether it's club manufacturing companies, the PGA Tour itself, the professionals playing on tour, club fitting professionals, and all this, they're all using the TrackMan. Even broadcast networks, when you're seeing the shot tracers on tour, they're using TrackMan technology. So it is the industry standard pinnacle of the best equipment you can get.
So it's probably expensive. You can't just get one for our basement.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I think they're around like 18 to 30K, usually depending on the model you can get.
Okay.
But if you have young kids and they're really good at golf, there's a program they have where they'll lend you one so you can use it. Yeah, have kids and make them really good at golf.
All right.
I mean, I've got one of those. I mean, I have one of those things mastered. I know I can do that part. Make them good at golf. We might need your help for that.
I've used a bunch of different simulator hardwares and softwares around London, Ontario in particular. Like there's like the SkyTrack, Impact Vision is one. There's also Unicore, and I personally find TrackMan feels the realist. When you're hitting a ball and you see your ball fly,
I felt like I was losing
it.
yardage.
It's
I was
just
gonna
more
say it was the TrackMan.
Yeah.
But it seemed like I was losing yardage and it wasn't coming out straight.
There's a lot of the times when I've been in other simulators and I'll hit a ball and I just know that it wouldn't fly the way that it flew from the feeling and just knowing my swing a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
So does it come from that laser then? People at home can't see it.
Yep.
But there's a laser on there, and that's kind of how it all plays out then?
Kind of. It's actually a radar system. So it's a Doppler radar system and a camera. And they kind of give information to each other and then take that information and output it.
It's crazy how real time though it is.
It's insane. Yeah, it's absolute. I don't know how they do it. All that stuff's kind of way over my head. But,
Yeah. As long as they keep doing
the
it.
same stuff they're using to land aircrafts, they have in that.
Well, I think it's put to better use than
Me too.
Yeah.
100%.
They were landing aircrafts way before we were able to play golf.
Landing golf balls on the green.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Honestly though, it changed the way people watch golf. I think though, because now you see you hit on your TV, you don't know where that ball's going leaving the club.
That's a great point too. I didn't even consider that. Yeah.
So as someone who's starting to watch, I've watched the whole people are starting to watch golf because it's easy to follow now on some of those holes. It's a crazy tech. I didn't realize it was the same technology they're using on the tour.
Actually, you probably know more than I would, but I would think they're using this in football and baseball. Like when you have those shot tracers, I would almost guarantee you it's all TrackMan stuff too.
Yeah, I would say definitely baseball, the way that the pitches
For sure.
are tracked, and football, yeah, I would think whatever.
Like the speed of the ball when you see the little numbers.
Yeah, all those next gen stats are probably using the same thing.
Got it.
All right, so you're challenging me to throw a football into the screen.
As hard as you can.
Yeah, for a golf ball.
Yeah.
Do that.
I'm pretty sure I ripped my shoulder out. Yeah.
No,
No.
we threw a lot of pitches last weekend.
Yeah. No,
You weren't breaking no barriers.
Oh yeah. Last week, yeah, we had a little pitching thing going on. We don't even talk about that. Real golfing drills. Beginners getting in. I mean, what are some of the main things that you want to focus on when you get somebody in here? You're just getting them ready to go.
Sure. Fundamentals. I'm a big, firm believer that everybody and every body is different. So we all have a different golf swing that's going to feel more comfortable for you than it will for me.
Right.
Your body has different restrictions and capabilities than my body does.
He looked at you when he said restrictions. Yeah. He just knows.
I was just like, this guy is.
You said you wouldn't set me up today.
We lied.
Throw that. Yeah, but when you look on tour and you look at everybody's swing, there is something unique about each of their swings, right? You have like the Jim Furyk finish and the Matthew Wolf knee dip, and those individualities aren't flaws; they're individualities, right? And when I teach people, especially new beginners, owning your swing is a big part of it.
Right.
grip, alignment, stance, and posture. Those are the big 4 fundamentals that I like to focus on, and
Okay.
those are not going to change your golf swing. You might hold the club a little differently to improve certain things in club control with the head of the golf club. Your alignment, just to make sure you're aligning more down the target.
Right.
Your stance, like where you're placing the ball, your posture, things like that, like having your back angle and where you're looking. Those things are going to make way more of a difference.
I know I do this,
Swing.
so I'm the guy that aims this far this direction.
Right. And there's lots of like little medications we can do with the grip to mitigate that, right? Rather than just aiming way
at the
that
trees on
way.
the right,
Exactly.
and hoping for once it doesn't go straight.
100%.
I thought it was a pretty practical way to go about it.
So like
To each their own.
when I first started playing, like I was always told to link your index and pinky, and that would keep your wrist straight.
What's more comfortable for you?
Well, baseball is this for me,
That's
but I
what
find that it's a little bit wild.
I would tell you to be as comfortable as you can be.
Okay.
I think there's no right and wrong way to do it. There's things I'll tell you. Interlocking or having a stronger or weaker grip can have this effect and outcome on your shot.
Okay.
But ultimately, being comfortable and being confident over the golf ball is 90% of hitting a good shot.
Okay.
Confidence. I
Yeah.
can do this.
100%.
I am the greatest golfer alive. I'm gonna give myself this chant when I go golfing next.
So as you're coming through, and I mean, you're gonna tell me it's about comfortability. Like in baseball, you're taught to not hold the bat too tight. Hockey, you don't grip the stick too tight.
Yep.
In golf, is it a similar premise?
It is. You don't want to grip it too tight, but there's reasons and rhyme for those reasons and everything, right? And the reason why they say that is you lose club head control.
Right.
So the tighter you grip it, you don't have much movement in your wrists and in your hands and in your fingers. Everything's more locked up, and that face just gets a little more rigid and sturdy, and we can't control it through the swing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So for someone who's snapping the face closed on impact,
Right.
maybe a little tighter grip might help them hold it open through contact a little bit more. So there's instances where it can apply to your swing
Yeah.
and not apply to your swing.
Right. No, that makes sense. Now I'm just like gonna start picking apart
Yeah,
my game.
absolutely.
When I drive the ball, I find a lot of the time it tails off to the right hand side.
You're right-handed.
I am right-handed, yeah.
Okay.
And I try to do what Chad does, and you correct a little bit. But I find when I correct, I actually hit a little bit straighter. So
Sure.
This happens. Ooh.
yeah. So I mean, I think the safer version for everybody on the course is me finding a way to not
Come see Jake. Is the answer.
to not slice.
Yeah, absolutely. For one, information is huge. Having the information, knowing why things occur, is the first step to fixing them, getting better at it, making the adjustments that we need, right? Golf is the game of opposites, hands down. So I don't know if you play pool or if anybody who plays pool, but to hit a jump shot with a cue ball, you don't, a lot of people will slide the cue ball or the cue underneath to pop it up over top.
Yeah.
But you actually have to ram down the cue ball into the table to make it pop up.
Oh.
So it's the same concept in golf. We have to hit down on the ball to make it go up in the air. And what you're talking about with the slice
Yeah.
or the fade is you have to actually aim to your miss. So you would aim more to the right.
Okay.
And what that's going to do is when we swing inside to outside, we get the opposite flight.
Okay.
So when we swing, outside to inside, we get this, and inside to outside, we get this. So it's the game of opposites. It's the opposite of what you would think would happen.
Okay.
So when you feel like you're shooting one out to the right, it's going to curl back this way. So as long as our club face relation is, open to the path that we're swinging. The club face in relation to that path we're swinging on is what generates your ball flight. So if you just draw a line straight back and straight forward, right? You being right-handed, coming inside to outside with your swing path, right? So our club's coming inside to outside with a closed club face on contact.
Right.
It's going to give you a draw.
Okay.
And then outside, so if you're swinging outside to inside with an open club face, it's going to give you that fade.
Right.
That slice.
Okay.
which is the opposite of what our brains and our
Yeah.
bodies want.
I just want to put it out there, you and I need way more than a 28-minute episode on Rogers to fix our golf game.
Yeah.
It's deep. The rabbit hole was deep, man. Yeah.
Well, so I just thought that
Right
maybe
into
I
the
was.
bunker.
I thought I was just following through too hard. Like maybe my backswing wasn't as fast as the front
We'll
because
have to book
it's
a
just
lesson and we'll really dive into
this
it.
guy. He's get him into sales. Right now, what levels do you teach? All levels of golf here, like anybody that's willing to come.
Absolutely, yeah. So I worked at Green Hills last year.
Okay.
And I ran the summer camps for kids ages 7 to 14.
Okay.
Really enjoyed that. Love working with kids. It's probably my
Right.
favorite thing to do. They're more fun because they're not as stressed out about it.
Right.
They're there to have a good time. They're there. They know they're there to learn. They know they're not going to be pro overnight. So I find just the mentality in teaching them is a lot more like my mentality,
Right.
and I can connect with them right away. Whereas like individuals who they're getting really worked up and stressed out about it. Like they really want to fix their golf swing. It's a little more hard work to get where we need to be that way, right? It's not a bad thing, but I enjoy those younger kids because they're just full of light, full of
They're
energy,
fresh
full of
candidates,
learning,
right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna absorb what you're trying to teach them.
We've done some stuff about like youth hockey, and there's always like those parents that are like the hockey parents that think their kids going pro.
Sure.
Is there people that feel the same way about their kids in golf? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I wanted my daughter to be into golf. She's
Yeah.
6 now. I took her out, when she was 3, 4, 5, stuffed her in the car. You're coming
Yeah.
with me, right? Like,
Yeah.
get in here, we're playing 9 holes, and it's just not for her. And I think the key is trying to make it fun, not making them golf, but just making sure they're having a good time with you out there.
Right.
Right is number one. And if they're not into it, they're not into it. And that's
Yeah.
Like, that
That's
goes for
my
all
philosophy.
sports, right? I don't think that's just a golf thing.
100%.
Like, I'm a coach and I see some like parents out there watching like coaching. I coach football, and then for us, like kids are on like. There's some kids that don't want to be there,
Yeah.
and especially I think in golf, like that's a long day if someone doesn't want to be around.
Absolutely.
Also, it's the most frustrating game I've ever played in my life. Whether I was 11, 12, or 38,
Yeah.
the frustration was always there. Like, it's just one of those things. I think just like for you and like watching these kids go, it's cool that they're having fun with it. Like that's gotta be the most important thing.
It is the best part about it. Absolutely.
Because like when they hit that good shot, they're actually excited.
Oh, their face lights up. They're turning around. They tell everybody. They're going home, hopping and skipping. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And that's what brings, ultimately, even adults. That's what brings us back to the course.
Right.
So we
It's
hit
that one
shots
hole,
like
that one
feeling,
shot.
that's it. It's the same thing.
You know, you go triple bogey, 3 holes in a row. You don't want to try like, I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
But I think you raised a really good point too, and it's, I believe like when you force them into that, you're burning a bridge in the future,
Right.
potentially. Because if you just say, okay, this is maybe not for you, and like if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Maybe they'll get into it in the future on their own,
Right.
pick it up and discover their love on their own. But if you're forcing them into it, you make it stressful. They hate being there all the time when they're young. What's the chances when they're older that they're
Right.
going to pick it up again, right?
That's-
Slimmer, I would think.
Yeah, well, that's it. And when they're old enough to make their own decisions and they just want to rebel against you, then they're gonna play croquet or go curling
I'm
or
fine with
something.
croquet. Oh yeah.
Now, do you have set hours that you do training? Or
Yeah.
coaching?
So Monday to Friday, I'm available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. usually,
Okay.
and then I kind of just accommodate my schedule accordingly with the other responsibilities that I have throughout the day. And Saturdays I'm off. Sundays I'm 8 to 8 as well.
Okay.
So Monday to Friday and Sundays 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. is usually when you can come.
And are you the only coach here at this location?
At this location, yeah.
Okay, and right now, like Next Golf, like this is the only London location, but there's a few in the GTA.
Yeah, we're scattered across the GTA. We just opened Windsor location a couple
Okay.
weeks ago, which was huge for us, and it's busy. People are loving it.
Definitely.
Scarborough, Mississauga, Whitby, we have Pickering, and we're working on a few more right now as well. So.
Yeah, okay. And we don't want to share any of those locations, but yeah, it's good that it's growing. And like I said, like pulling up here, you don't know what you're about to walk into when you walk in here. It doesn't look like it should be a part of like the area that it, or not the area, sorry, like the the strip mall.
Plaza,
It,
that is it.
like,
Sure.
it was the same thing. We did a show out at BP8 Fitness.
Yeah.
And the last thing I expected when we pulled into like some business park was to see a gym of that magnitude.
Cool.
And-
Well, that's cool. I'm glad that we illuminate ourselves over here a little bit, which is good.
Yeah.
I love this area. I think the area is prime. I think they picked a great location here.
Yeah.
I grew up in Oak Ridge.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar with this area. I've watched it change. I shopped at Sears Outlet when it used to be here.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
I do have a question about the trackman.
Yeah.
Can you select your weather, or is it like real time active?
Yeah, absolutely. It does have real-time active weather, but you can change the wind and change all those settings. Change the stimp meter to add more moisture to the greens and things like that too.
So you can make it as real as you choose.
100%. Yeah.
And like same with that, so like with that kind of stuff, would that be real time as well? So like, we have Royal True behind us. If you played last weekend, would you have got British Open weather rain?
No, so
Grass?
you would have to look it up and manipulate that on
Okay.
in the system. It would be auto calibrated to that weather, but
Right.
it has the capability to let you do that yourself.
I feel like I should reach out to Trackman and give them some ideas here.
That is a very good idea.
Now these simulate, like, it seems like everything's private, so no one has to worry if you're, if you feel like you're working on something or your swing isn't
Yep.
where you want it to be. Like, there's no level of embarrassment. You're in your own room here. You mentioned it's 24/7. How, like, what are the peak times? Like, when, if someone is just trying to crack their way in here and they want to come in here alone, like, when would be a good time for them to come?
Sure. So, I'm fairly new at this location,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning a little bit more about that. But from what I've seen, I've only been surprised. I thought, the summer we're gonna be good,
Yeah.
right? Nighttime we're just gonna golf at 3 in the morning. Wow, do people golf all the time, right? Like there's the people that are learning and getting into the sport who
Yeah.
don't want to be out for 4 hours on the golf course in the hot sun,
Yeah.
hitting 12 shots, holding everybody up behind them, but they can come and learn here and have
Yeah.
fun here, right? And those are the types of people we're seeing daily on a regular basis, and there's no better spot to learn and get involved in it than a place like this, right? So
Yeah. Like,
early morning night shift, you see
Okay.
a lot of people from the night shift come in after they're coming with their work boots and throw their golf shoes on and play an hour and then go home.
How do you putt on this? I'll say I don't need it down. You just
Yeah.
putt down on the ground.
Yeah, it's same. It's very, very intuitive. There's a little just behind you here. You can kind of see this is 58 degree. Select that and select your putter if you wanted to putt from it from here.
yeah.
Just smash it on there, and it's extremely responsive. Like I was saying before, the TrackMan has better feel than any other system I've
So like a 6 foot putt actually feels like a 6 foot
100%. It feels like it's interacting with grass as it's rolling.
And like, does it have to be stream though or no?
No, you could, if you had a little 3-foot putt, you could roll it halfway to the screen and it would pick up every little movement of it.
Well, that's great. And you know what? This has been amazing. And we told you that we didn't think we'd have enough time for just one episode, but we're definitely going to have to come back and do this again. And we appreciate you having us. And, as this place continues to grow, we wish you nothing but success.
Thank you so much. No, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having
All
us.
right. And we'll see everybody next week.